Hello, I'm Sheriff Bill Brown. Welcome to a special edition of the Sheriff's Roundup, coming to you from the Lompoc substation. In this special version of the Roundup, we'll be giving you a behind-the-scenes look at some rewarding careers here at the Sheriff's Office, along with information about how you can join our team. We'll start with a look at the roles played by our administrative office professionals. Then we'll visit our dispatch center and learn about our call takers and communications dispatchers. We'll then go to our Northern Branch Jail and the main jail to see what a shift as a custody deputy is like. We'll then take a virtual ride along with sheriff's deputies and learn more about how they make a difference in the communities that they serve and protect. Finally, we'll hear from our Human Resources Bureau about what our hiring process looks like and what you can expect during that process. Before I introduce you to some of our outstanding staff and the exceptional and varied opportunities we have here at the Sheriff's Office, let's have some of them tell you a little bit about where we are proud to work and live.
Santa Barbara County has a rich history, distinctive architecture, and the legendary Southern California lifestyle.
Known worldwide as the American Riviera for its exceptional beauty
and magnificent weather, Santa Barbara County boasts crystal clear air,
stunning scenery,
glistening palm-lined beaches,
and an average of 300 days of sunshine per year.
The Pacific Ocean provides an expansive playground, offering every type of water sports activity from scuba diving to sailing, fishing, seasonal whale watching, sunset cruises, and kayaking. The nearby Santa Ynez Mountains offer hikers and bikers a number of well-marked trails that begin just a few miles from downtown Santa Barbara.
with more than 122 miles of pristine coastline, beautiful valleys, and rugged peaks. Santa Barbara County spans 2,745 square miles. The county offers a paradise-like setting for tourists, vacationers, and its more than 450,000 residents. With many public parks, beaches, museums, a zoo, numerous community festivals and events, and some great schools, it's a terrific place to establish roots and raise a family.
Santa Barbara County also boasts a strong and vibrant economy. Our coastal communities support significant tourism. White-collar jobs are prevalent due to the presence of the University of California at Santa Barbara, a private university, a law college, and 2 community colleges.
Vandenberg Space Force Base has traditionally had a large economic impact in the northern portion of the county and continues to be the site of frequent satellite launches. A rapidly expanding vineyard industry has emerged within Santa Barbara County, producing some of the world's finest wines.
The Sheriff's Office mission statement describes what we do. The members of the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office are responsible for enforcing the laws, upholding the constitutions, and providing custody and court services. We are committed to enhancing the quality of life through effective partnerships, protecting persons and property while serving as role models to our community. The men and women of the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office are proud to protect the people of this beautiful county. Now, let me introduce you to Delaney Lowe's, an administrative office professional in our custody branch.
We are currently hiring for administrative office professional positions here at the main jail facility in Santa Barbara or Northern Branch Jail in Santa Maria, where we process new arrestees for booking into custody, verify bail amounts at booking, assist the general public by phone and in person, schedule court dates, process inmate records to facilitate release or transfer, and perform related duties as assigned. We work in a lockdown facility and our job requires direct and indirect contact with inmates. In custody records, you are assigned to a squad of personnel and work rotating 12-hour shifts, which allow for 4 days off 1 week and 3 days off another. The culture of custody records is hardworking, fast-paced, detail-oriented, and energetic. You are surrounded by people who enjoy their work and have fun doing it, which makes the job that much more enjoyable. You are rewarded each day by being able to help a loved one through the custody or jail process and making their lives just a little easier through a troubling time. Personally, I find the work rewarding because of who we work with, who we work for, and the comfortable environment within the office and with my peers.
Thank you, Delaney, for telling us about the important work that you and your colleagues do in custody records as administrative office professionals. Next, I'll hand you over to Joe Ayala in our 911 Dispatch Center to learn about our call taker and communication dispatcher careers.
We handle emergency and non-emergency calls and text messages, as well as radio dispatch for sheriff's patrol deputies, county fire, and American medical response throughout Santa Barbara County. Both of these important positions work together in our dispatch center, located just up the hill from Sheriff's headquarters in Santa Barbara. Our call takers answer calls received in the dispatch center, determine the emergency or non-emergency nature of the call, and routes it to the appropriate communications dispatcher, or in many cases, is able to provide the appropriate assistance on the spot. These calls can be anything from a general question about something as simple as who to call about utilities being out, to more complex calls for emergencies that are currently happening. Quite often these calls come in one right after another, and it's impossible to know what the next call you're going to take will be. Call takers are provided on-the-job training as they learn how to help callers through situations like these and how to elicit crucial information that first responders need. Call takers are the first responders and can positively affect the outcome of emergency calls by relaying suspect information or scene hazard information, or by talking someone through how to do CPR step by step during those critical moments between the time of call and the first unit's arrival on scene. Our call takers have talked people through how to clear the airway of a choking person, or the terror of having to hide inside their own home while deputies check on a possible intruder. A call taker will answer dozens of calls during each of their shifts, each one being an opportunity to make a positive difference for the community. A communications dispatcher is a trained call taker with the additional duties and ability to dispatch and track field units using a radio and computer-aided dispatch tools. A dispatcher relays the information over the radio to field units and tracks their status while they're on calls, checking in on them from time to time to see if they need additional personnel or resources. Dispatchers also relay questions from field units back to the call takers to ask the callers, all working together as a team on call after call. The dispatch center is open 24 hours a day, every day. Our dispatchers and call takers work 12-hour shifts with 3 days off one week and 2 days off the next. As for myself, I started my career here 24 years ago and a lot has changed. But two things remain just as true now as it was back then. It's still just as rewarding, and we are proud to make a positive difference in our community every day.
Thank you, Joe, for showing us the fast-paced and critical work of our call takers and communications dispatchers. You are an extraordinary and dedicated group of people. In this section of the Roundup, I usually hand you over to a member of our training cadre for an update on new equipment or a change in procedure aimed at providing the highest quality of care and service to our communities. In this edition, however, I'd like to focus on how we care for each other through our wellness and peer support programs. Here to tell you about what these offer are Lieutenant Jarrett Morris and Dr. Sherilyn Lee.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sherilyn Lee. I am a police psychologist and the Behavioral Sciences Manager for the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office. We know that your job is hard. That's why we are working diligently to implement and sustain a well-rounded wellness program, including nutritional, financial, physical, and psychological support. Since 2021, we have launched a Healthy Warrior Meal program in headquarters and dispatch, contracted with clinical services for critical incidents as well as individual needs, and launched our peer support program. Since the peer support program began, we have responded to over 15 incidents and helped many of our employees with both professional and personal concerns. The wellness team is just getting started, and we look forward to continuing to find innovative and comprehensive ways to make sure you, our employees, colleagues, and friends, have the supports you need both at work and at home.
The goal of peer support is to provide all sworn and civilian employees at the Sheriff's Office with an opportunity to receive emotional and tangible support through tough times of personal or professional crisis and to help anticipate and address potential difficulties. Our peer support team is comprised of sworn and civilian employees who are specifically trained not as counselors or therapists to augment outreach programs but not replace them. We are currently aligned with the Counseling Team International, who provides culturally competent therapists to our law enforcement professionals through personalized therapy services. To provide assurances to our employees, all peer support team members are required to follow 2 levels of non-disclosure, including privacy and confidentiality.
Thank you, Lieutenant Morris and Dr. Lee, for all you do to help keep our Sheriff's Office team members well. Now we'll head back to the jail to learn about the role of our custody deputies.
Hello, I'm Senior Custody Deputy Tarek Falfall, assigned to the Sheriff's North Branch Jail, here to share some insight into what a career as a custody deputy with the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office is like. Depending on the shift that you work, you either start at 6 a.m. on the day shift or 6 p.m. on the night shift. A custody deputy can work in a housing unit, as a medical escort, or can be assigned to the intake team. The job description and duties vary from each assignment. Today I'll focus on the duties that are assigned to a custody deputy who works in a housing module. The custody deputies who work these assignments are responsible for the safety and security of the people who are in the care of the Sheriff's Office. They are responsible for providing food, clothing, and toiletries, as well as seeing that inmates' medical and mental health needs are met. As one can imagine, being incarcerated can take a toll on anyone. To that end, custody deputies usually find themselves dealing with individuals that may be at their lowest. A custody deputy's duties include overseeing the work of a group of inmates assigned to maintenance, operational, or rehabilitative activities, supervising the conduct of inmates during the booking process, in housing, during recreation, and on work assignments. Custody deputies also conduct searches for contraband, receiving and releasing prisoners, submitting reports, and preparing correspondence. They also prepare reports and letters and transport prisoners while guarding them at hospitals and other off-site locations as needed. They have to accomplish a lot of these tasks while being compassionate and empathetic, but they have to maintain safety and security simultaneously.
And bringing people out of cells. Okay, so we're gonna have some.
There are many other opportunities for a custody deputy at the Santa Barbara County Jail, like being a member of the Special Operations Response Team, also known as SORT, which provides safety and security, and along with control and restoring order in incidents of critical or high-risk nature. SORT collectively trains once a month on the core components of their mission. The purpose of the Santa Barbara County SORT team is to provide an organized, structured response to the critical incidents that are beyond the normal capabilities of custody deputies to handle, including jail disturbances, inmate refusals to obey orders, and special cell searches. Custody deputies also have the opportunity to be assigned to the classification unit, which conducts interviews with inmates and objectively determines their appropriate housing, conducts reclassification reviews, cellmate compatibility reviews, and makes appropriate housing placements. Custody deputies also have the opportunity to work as part of the transportation unit. The transportation unit is responsible for the movement of inmates to court, medical appointments, and plays a large role in the movement of inmates to and from other custodial facilities. While custody deputies deal with offenders day in and day out, it's important to remember that these people are members of our community, and we should practice empathy so that their families and friends understand the message of the Sheriff's Office. With classes we teach, like empathy, de-escalation, and inmate behavioral management, it's our job and our goal to treat these individuals how we would like to be treated. And remember that they will be a part of our community in the future and do the best job we possibly can to assure they're productive in society. As a custody deputy with the Sheriff's Office, you'll become part of a team that's dedicated to enhancing the quality of life for inmates and the people of Santa Barbara County. Every day when you put on your uniform and work with offenders, you'll make the community a safer and more secure place.
A career as a custody deputy can be extremely rewarding, and it's a great way to make a positive difference. I recently shared a great example of the tremendous impact that custody deputies can have on the lives of others at a recent annual Department Awards ceremony, where we honored custody deputy Arturo Alvarez with the Sheriff's Life-Saving Award. On July the 3rd, custody deputy Arturo Alvarez Carrion was assigned to the Direct Supervision Housing Unit, D Barracks, a single-person post. At approximately 6:10 p.m., custody deputy Alvarez noticed that one of the inmates under his care was acting strangely. Custody deputy Alvarez instructed the inmate to sit down, and as he did, he lost consciousness. Custody deputy Alvarez immediately used his radio to call for medical staff and additional custody deputies, and instructed the other inmates to go to their assigned bunks. While awaiting for additional resources, custody deputy Alvarez conducted a quick evaluation of the inmate and determined that he was not breathing and that no pulse could be found. With assistance from other inmates, Alvarez moved the patient to the floor and he began cardiopulmonary resuscitation compressions. Recognizing that the patient was suffering from symptoms of an overdose, custody deputy Alvarez instructed inmate William Gormley how to perform chest compressions while he went and retrieved Narcan from the officer's station. After administering the dose of Narcan, custody deputy Alvarez resumed CPR, and after several more chest compressions and rescue breathing, a faint pulse was detected. Shortly afterwards, jail medical staff arrived and took over care until paramedics arrived. He was transported to the hospital and subsequently made a full recovery. For his immediate and decisive actions and for his ability to maintain security and discipline alone with over 30 inmates in a calm and professional manner, both of which led to the preservation of life, custody deputy Arturo Alvarez Carrion is hereby awarded Santa Barbara Sheriff's Life-Saving Award. Custody deputy Alvarez's heroic efforts are just one example of the rewarding and life-changing work that our custody deputies do every day. Next up, we have Special Duty Deputy Martha Sosa, here to talk about a career as a sheriff's deputy.
Describing the everyday duties of a deputy is hard to do. The career is unique in that there is really no such thing as a typical day, and the scope of the duties and responsibilities of a deputy sheriff are more diverse than people realize. The official job description of a deputy sheriff talks about investigating illegal or suspicious activities, patrolling communities to keep them safe, and deterring and detecting law violators. It includes making arrests and issuing citations, taking control of accident scenes, assisting with traffic flow, and providing first responder assistance to trauma victims.
I like finding something and then realizing that it's more complicated, and then going down the rabbit hole to find all the different pieces, putting them together and identifying, what the crime is, the suspect, finding that suspect, and then getting the victim some justice.
Deputies will also find themselves executing arrest warrants, assisting detectives, and locating and taking wanted persons into custody. That description still doesn't cover the wide variety of career opportunities that are available when you decide to embark on a career with the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office. On any given shift, a deputy sheriff may find themselves responding to a multi-vehicle accident and having to render life-saving assistance to victims. 20 minutes after that call, they may be taking a report from the victim of a burglary before racing to the scene of an armed robbery in progress, which may result in a barricade, a vehicle or foot pursuit, or a long canine track through an urban or rural area. Or a deputy may find themselves responding to a suicidal person or someone experiencing a devastating life event who needs you to be a counselor and a rock to cling to as they work through what might be the worst day of their life. A deputy sheriff needs to be courageous, able to stand up to criminals and even willing to pull people out of burning buildings and wrecked vehicles if necessary. They also need to be articulate, calm, and able to communicate effectively with people of all ages and from all backgrounds.
My favorite part of this job is getting to talk to people, and I like being able to, I meet new people every day, and that's fun to me. I like to know about people and their lives and what they do and what they think is fun, and for me that's the most fun part.
I've been with the Sheriff's Office a little over 6 years. Prior to that, I served in the military. I served in the Coast Guard. The best parts about my job is I get to be out there and help bridge that gap between law enforcement and the community.
A deputy must be ready to face down violent offenders while also being able to console a grieving parent or counsel someone through a mental health crisis. A deputy must be able to enforce the law while also being a compassionate and positive role model in their community. The scope of a deputy sheriff's day-to-day duties may seem vast and daunting, but that's what makes the career so amazing and so rewarding. There is no such thing as a typical day, and absolutely anything can happen every time you put on the uniform and start your day. It's exciting, challenging, rewarding, sometimes harrowing, and often hilarious. It is a front row seat in the theater of life and a noble career like no other.
Thank you for sharing that insight, Martha. As with each of these other positions, no 2 days are the same, and deputies are always ready to step up when they're called upon to help those in need. I want to share with you another example of our staff members doing just that. On November the 9th, 2021, property manager John Ornelas was home when he was alerted to a fire that was in his building in apartment number 7 by other residents. He ran to the apartment and he found it filled with smoke. He knew that the resident was home and that she had recently undergone surgery. John tried to enter the apartment several times, but the smoke was too thick and he could see flames inside. Sheriff's Deputy David Ashley and Sheriff's Deputy Rockwell Ellis arrived on the scene. They were directed to the burning apartment by the building manager, John Ornelas. The deputies saw black smoke billowing from the doorway of the apartment, but they could not see inside. Deputy Ellis tried to lean inside to search the apartment, but he was quickly overwhelmed by the heat and the smoke. Deputy Ashley dropped to the ground and through a clear layer of air about 1.5 feet off of the floor, he saw a woman down on the ground about 20 feet inside the apartment. Deputy Ashley held his breath and crawled along the floor to the woman. When he reached her, he saw that her clothing was on fire and that she was unconscious. He patted the flames out on her clothing, and he began crawling out of the apartment, pulling the unconscious woman behind him. When he was almost out of the building, Deputy Ashley took a breath and immediately felt the effects of the smoke and the hot air. He had difficulty breathing, started to get dizzy, and was incapacitated. Deputy Ellis saw what was happening and went into the apartment and pulled both Deputy Ashley and the woman to safety outside of the doorway. John Ornalis, Deputy Ashley, and Deputy Ellis recognized the gravity of the situation and the immediate danger to the resident of the apartment. They showed extraordinary bravery in the face of imminent personal peril, which ultimately resulted in the preservation of life. For their life-saving and heroic actions that day, Sheriff's Deputy David Ashley and Sheriff's Deputy Rockwell Ellis are hereby awarded the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office highest honor, the Medal of Valor. Congratulations, gentlemen. Deputies Ashley and Ellis did exceptionally heroic work that day, but they would tell you that what they did was what any other Santa Barbara County Sheriff's deputy would have done in that situation. In each of the career opportunities available at the Sheriff's Office, there's the chance to do something extraordinary, something pivotal, that turns a job into a calling. Law enforcement is a noble profession, and we need good men and women to join our team. If you or someone you know is interested, now is the time to apply. You can always find information about current job opportunities on our website, sbsheriff.org. But now, let's go one step further and have Sergeant Chris Gottschall from our Human Resources Bureau outline how you can prepare, how to apply, and what to expect during the hiring process for a position with the Sheriff's Office.
I'd like to take an opportunity to invite you to take a look at our website and see some of the positions that we have, some of which are Sheriff's Deputy Trainee, Custody Deputy, Communications Dispatcher, Call Taker, Office Professional, Service Technician, Utility Worker, and much more. Each position is going to require you to complete an online application, and that can be easily found at our Santa Barbara Sheriff's homepage. Click the Join Now link, and you'll have easy accessibility to all of those different applications. Some of our Sheriff's Deputy Trainee, Custody Deputy, and Service Technician positions are going to require a written exam. We offer the ability to take those online, some of which are through the new National Testing Network, so you can take those online exams through the convenience of self-scheduled appointments and from your own home. Or if you'd prefer to take some of those written exams in person, you can come to one of many of our recruitment events, which are generally held at the Allen Hancock College Public Safety Complex in Lompoc. Information can also be found on when those recruitment events are going to take place. For some of our dispatcher positions, we also have critical testing. That critical testing is done here at our dispatch center, and since we have ongoing recruitment, you can expect to take those tests almost on a monthly basis. As part of the selection process, you can also expect to take a physical agility test, again, for some of our Deputy Sheriff Trainee, Custody Deputy, or Service Technician positions.
I filled out the application and went through physical agility testing, a psych evaluation, I had to take a lie detector test, and all those things led me to going to the academy. The academy is 6 months. You learn all kinds of things, academic things like how to write reports, as well as different techniques to keep the community safe. We did a lot of push-ups and a lot of running. And I didn't think I was a runner, but I tried really hard and I trained really hard and I was able to do it. And I can look back now and say that it was a hard experience, but it gave me a great career that I love.
Again, we have a lot of opportunity here at the Sheriff's Office. We want you to succeed in the application process. So if you have any questions, if you would like to schedule a ride-along or a sit-along in our dispatch center, or even take a tour of the jail facility, feel free to call us anytime so we can help guide you and steer you in the right direction so you can be successful here in your application process with the Sheriff's Office.
As we close out this special edition of the Roundup, I again encourage you to apply today if you're interested in a career with the Sheriff's Office. Or if you know someone who you think would be a good fit, let them know we're hiring and have them get in touch with us. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Sheriff's Roundup. Thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting us as we protect your safety.